Yo, what is up? Welcome back. Thanks so much for making it this far. If you are learning how to jump and you are having trouble, I guarantee one or more of these is your issue. Hello, hello, can you hear me? Check, 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 check. Birch. So this could be an issue that you're having, and that is you are focused way too much on your bike and not enough on your body. To better explain this, let's get rid of the bike. So the bike is gone, let's talk about this, right? So you're on a bike, and in your mind when you're learning how to jump, you have a very small window of opportunity to get all of these skills and all this technique right. It's almost like you're taking off in a plane. You have all these switches and these buzzers going off, and you're so focused on your bike that you don't realize most of the mistakes that you're making are in your body. So your bike weighs, less than a quarter of your body weight. So why do we put so much focus in what our bike is doing and not our body weight? Because really, in actuality, it's our body mass that is driving this whole motion. So now with our bike out of the mix, okay, if I asked you to run up this transition and just jump and see how far you can go, here's what you're not going to do, right? And you've known this since you were a little kid running up hills. You are not going to lean back like this and run up it like this. Doesn't make sense with the laws of physics. Another thing that you are not going to do is you're not going to run into it and push back with your butt. Just doesn't make sense. You're off balance. It's going to be very hard to run up this and jump doing either of those scenarios. Yet when you're on your bike, that's what you're doing. And I don't even need to teach you this because again, you learned this when you were a little kid, is you're going to run into this transition and you're going to get low because you need to drive up it, It just makes sense to get low with our body because it gives us a lower center of gravity and gives us more traction in our feet. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to get low as you approach this transition. Another thing that you're going to do is you're going to drive your shoulders down and forward because that balances your body mass. Your legs know what to do, right? So they're going to keep that balance and you're going to push up it with your shoulders and your chest forward and low. So once you reach the top of the transition, what you're going to do is you're going to push off and lunge forward with your upper body. You're going to control that jump with your upper body. The crazy thing is, when you put a bike in the mix, nothing changes. It's all the same. You get low as you approach the transition, right? You keep your shoulders forward, your chin over the stem. You push into your heels, and you expand, and you extend upward. So focus on your body mass first, because properly controlled body mass is going to determine whether a jump is successful or whether it's a complete failure. The sun feels magnificent. It was 18 degrees Fahrenheit when I started this morning, all for the love of doing this. Not a soul around. Beautiful morning. The Zeb feels like it's packed with molasses though, which makes jumping feel a little awkward. So luckily we live in a world now where we are surrounded by knowledge. It's easily shared. We are accustomed to instant gratification. There are probably hundreds of jump videos, some good, some bad. And I know what you're doing. I know you're envisioning taking that knowledge to the trail that you just learned on YouTube, doing exactly what the YouTuber said, and instantly you fixed all your problems. The problem is, it doesn't work that way. When in actuality, that information is just a tool to learn how to jump. What you then have to do is take that tool and practice how to use it. And oftentimes, it doesn't work right away. I can't tell you any one thing that's going to instantly make you jump. But what I can do is give you tools to learn how to do it. So be patient. Understand repetition is a part of the process. Understand that all this technique is just a tool, and you are teaching your body, you're teaching your mind how to use that tool to learn how to jump. All these people that are super good at jumping, you see it on their Instagrams and you see it on YouTube or TikTok or Twitter or wherever. What you don't see is the countless hours that they put in to get to where they are. Every rider that is super good at jumping was where you are right now. So be patient, work through it. You will get it if you do not give up. The beauty in mountain biking and in jumping is it's not reliant on muscle tone. It's not reliant on body build. It's not reliant on intelligence. It's just reliant on perseverance. And the easiest thing anybody can do is persevere. Okay, we're gonna nose press this first one. Nose pressed. We're gonna do a shifty topside turvy here. Shifty topside turvy. We're gonna do stanky leg. Stanky leg. Yeah, so understanding that you're just not ready for a bigger jump is super crucial in the process of learning how to jump. So there's no shame in finding a smaller jump. Even if your bro train is doing party laps on big jumps, there's absolutely no vibe in riding out of control on a jump line you're not ready for. So be an absolute lawless master at these little jumps, because I guarantee when you move up, then that vibe is going to come with you. In addition, you're going to build some confidence, you're going to understand the body mechanics, and you're actually going to bring some style and steez because you've practiced that fluidity on the small stuff and you're not just hucking big stuff, right? So build a vibe on these little jumps. So here's the thing, I truly understand that as a new rider and as a new jumper, a lot of these tutorials you see online, they don't take into account all the questions and all of the variables that go through a new rider's head. You know, they just lay the steps out on paper and it's really one-dimensional that way. My goal is to try to drive down into the psyche of a new rider and offer insight that'll help you break through those little hurdles that are often unseen when you just look at it like the technique for jumping at face value, okay? Right, so to break through that on your own, you need to be super analytical about your riding. You need to film it from the side, you need to film it from different angles. And really recognize the fact that what you feel like you're doing, you may actually not be doing. And that's the beauty of in-person coaching, is they can say, no, you're not as far forward as you feel like you are. So things that are new to you as a rider are gonna feel like way more magnified and way more extreme until you get used to them, and then you'll realize, yeah, you know what, I just wasn't far forward. You know, it felt like I was far forward because I had never been in that position before, but it wasn't the case. So to get better, you have to be super analytical. So here's a service that I'm offering for riders that are trying to learn any skill. You know, I understand that you may not have the means for in-person coaching, and you may not be comfortable with in-person coaching. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to offer my Patreon page to anybody who wants back and forth dialogue with somebody that can answer their questions and give them honest feedback, and safe feedback, and really work with your challenges on an individual level, you know, not just a blanket statement, right, where it's copied and pasted. So I'm offering my Patreon, Slanted Ground on Patreon, where I'll do just that. We got a pretty significant noggin knocker down here. Reported it, tried to clear it myself, could not do so. We're gonna go around it. So I perused the mountain bike forums on Reddit, and I see a lot of videos on there of people reaching out for help, asking for technique tips and what they're doing wrong when it comes to jumping. And there's a lot of good information on there, and there's also a lot of bad information on there in response to their videos. But a large percentage of these people that are reaching out for help aren't getting the true information that they need. And that is, they're not ready in their progress journey on a mountain bike to even start jumping yet. So here's the deal, if you're having trouble jumping and you just started riding recently, more than likely you're not ready to even worry about jumping yet. And that's okay, because that honesty is actually going to help you progress quicker than building bad habits and trying to jump with bad technique. What you're doing is you're risking your confidence, and you are also risking injury because you're just not ready to try to jump yet. Take it slow, build trail skills. Find ways to be uncomfortable on the bike, you know, in technical sections, climbing, doing wheelies, doing manuals, doing little hop over stuff. All those little skills will add together and build a foundation of confidence that even if you're nowhere near a jump, okay, when you go back to jumping, you're gonna be like, what? This looks completely different than it did when I didn't have those skills. And you will be miles ahead of where you were when you tried to rush the process. Okay? So we got a little step down here. I'm gonna try to clear it with as little speed as possible. That's what I like to do. I like to ride slow and pop hard. Nobody's coming, check. Let's ride slow and pop hard, nowhere near trail speed. Here we go. There's a first double up there. I gotta make sure that I pump that one. I'll probably even have to put in a couple pedal strokes because this guy's pretty long here and it doesn't really have like a lippy transition. It's got more of a ramp transition. 1, 2, 3. So probably to the sweet spot's like 4.5 bike lengths. So you speed jumpers, man, this one would be a good one to coach on because you really can't speed jump it. Let's pop it. So this second jump up here, the second double, is probably the hardest one to clear in this whole park because the turn into the first one that you pump is off camber. And then this second one is really hard maintaining speed. So right here it goes off camber, probably for drainage. Then you gotta pump that, and then this guy here, you gotta really pull for that one. If you head on over to Slant Ground Patreon, I'm more than willing to help you out with popping. Peace. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you like bikes and have room on your list, think about subscribing.